Show them that bite. Show them that bite. Bro, I'm excited. What's up, y'all? So today we are going to be prepping some spare ribs. I'm going to show you guys how I prep spare ribs. I'm going to show you guys how I break it down into St. Louis spares, and I get to cook the rib tips at the same time, or you can cook it at another time. All right, so today we have a 2-pack. We got this at Restaurant Depot. Pretty much any grocery store has this with a good meat department. My daughter is going to be helping me today, and I'm gonna teach her how to prep the spares. I have taught her already, but she hasn't done it enough to be proficient, so we're gonna show her once more. So you guys are gonna see real time me showing somebody how to accomplish that which I'm showing you right now, so you guys can do it too. So this is the full slab of spare ribs. This one looks really good. It's got some really nice marbling up here. Now, if you want to remove, you can cook this as its own. You don't need to do anything special. But just in case you want to make it into your own St. Louis cut rib, this is the line that you will follow right here. You're just going to take your knife. You're just going to cut all the way down. Just follow that fat seam right there. Just got a sharp knife. Voila, you have rib tips, and you have your St. Louis style ribs. So this here is your St. Louis cut ribs. Got your thick end right over here, and a lot of times this side is going to be just a lot of meat. So you find where the last bone is right here. This is kind of the last rib bone. And you square that up. Now you can go take it a step further. You can make the edges pretty, blah blah blah, and I'm not removing the fat on this. Okay, so this is your St. Louis cut rib, cut from your full slab of spare ribs. I'm gonna remove it just because I want to show you guys removing the membrane. Okay, I don't want this to hang up the membrane, so I'm gonna show you guys. On my spare ribs, I've shown you guys how I remove on the baby backs. On the spare ribs, it's a little different. I have to find me an edge with the paper towel. Just any edge will do, and then you just start removing it. Sometimes it's hard to get it in one go, but you know, it'll work. Once you get a good amount, hold it together. There you go. You got most of it off in one go. So off the one spare ribs, we have this little piece right here, and we got the rib tip, and we're gonna cook all of this together. I'm just showing you how you remove it if you want to. So now I have my daughter working on the other slab, and just like I did in the other one, I'm instructing her to do the same. So right now you're gonna remove the rib tip. So push down on it really hard. Yeah. All the way. That side's gonna be a little harder.
Yeah, because there's a bone.
Yep. Just get down in there. There you go. Come on now. Girl power. I love it. Let's see where you got. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is her first time removing the rib tip. And now she'll remove the skirt. Awesome. I'm gonna cut off that thin piece on the end over there. There you go, baby. So basically you're gonna take the paper towel and hold right here and start peeling gently until you get a big piece enough to rip. Yep. There you go. Grab mold. Yep, there you go. Hell yeah! Come on now. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ribs prepped, ready for seasoning. So today I'm running the offset. I'm going to talk to you guys about wood. All right, so this is oak, and this is what I typically use. But ever so often I get bags from B&B. So this is pecan, and today we're using pecan mixed with oak. The pecan is super dense, so it burns really hot. It burns for a long time, but sometimes it's kind of too dense, and so it needs a little help with the oak to kind of speed up the burn. So the size, I had to split them down. I have a splitter, it's in my Amazon store, you can go check that out. But you want it about 12 inches or so, right? That's the size of my charcoal basket. That's what I'm using. And then I'm gonna use like one of the pecan, one of the oak each time I load up the firebox. So that's how I'm running the fire today. But the size of your split is absolutely important. You don't want it too big, and if it's too small, then you just use 2 or 3, and that'll get you there. Alright, so a couple things I want you guys to know about how I run my fire. You see I'm starting up my smoker right now, and I have these splits in here. They're just gonna start getting warmed up for the next time I'm ready to add a split to the smoker. Has about a half hour before I'm ready to cook on the smoker, so it's not gonna hurt anything. But I like my wood splits primed. Inside the firebox, this is how I have my fire set up. You notice I have my fire all the way over to the extreme far right side of the box, because when I have the fire too close over here, it gets a little hot on this side. This way I keep it more managed. So now, once this wood split is on fire like it is right now, I'm gonna add that in there. We're gonna shut it down and let our smoker start to come up to temp. On this side, I almost always keep this intake wide open. That pushes all the air in, small fire, it goes all the way across, and now we have smoke coming out of the stack. So this right here is what you call dirty smoke. This is the beginning of the cook. We're gonna let this run until the smoke cleans up. That way, you know, you can see more clearer through it, and that's when we're gonna start cooking. I call this clean smoke. The haters will say, but that's not even on. What are you talking about, Jerry? What's your problem, bro? Look at that clean smoke, baby. Can you see it? You can't, can you? Barely, baby. Thin blue smoke. Fire. Go! In smoke culture. Goal is to keep the smoker 250, between 250, 260, thereabout. Okay, so now my temp is dropping below 250. It's time to add a split. I get asked all the time, how come you don't get dirty smoke after you add a split? All right, so we're gonna add this one. Looking here, we got a small bed of coals. We're gonna put that split on top, and you're gonna notice in real time, because it's primed or preheated, it's hot, it catches on fire right away. All right, we're gonna add this piece of oak, just like right there, and that's gonna be our fire. Now that we have that good, we're not gonna get that dirty smoke. That's how you do it. Alright, so right now, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of a dirty smoke. This is not crazy, right? But because I'm getting this much smoke, I'm gonna look in my firebox to make sure everything's okay. I just added a split, so I don't need to add anything. So it looks like it just wasn't burning fast enough in the beginning, but now it's on fire, and so that's why my smoke is now cleaning up quite a bit, right? Once you're burning a pretty solid fire, your smoke should be super clean, just like this, right? Yeah.